Hello and welcome to the Monster Sci-Fi Show podcast. I am your host, The Monster, back once more, give you some sci-fi news during my lunch hour in sunny Miami Beach. Or at least for right now, it seems to be clear, but going into the rainy season is going to be on and off rain. So, but for right now, it's kind of sunny. And I'm on my lunch. And I'm talking to you. So that's like 3 good things right now. Don't you think? I think so. Alright, so a couple of things I'm going to be talking about. Not you, because no one's listening. Catching up, I've been watching tons and tons and tons of Star Wars, the Clone Wars series on Netflix. So I'm about halfway through on season 5. And man, I am really enjoying this. Not because Star Wars is coming out in December, although partly I do want to kind of catch up, but I kind of want to know how it all played out, especially for season 6 with Anakin's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, and see how that all played out. So I really am enjoying this tremendously. And that's pretty much how my summer's been. It's just watching stuff that I've kind of neglected. Summer movies have not been really in for me, so I'm kind of relying on stuff that I know that I will enjoy, like watching Firefly again, or just stuff that is just I know will make me happy. Because again, summer movies have been a bust this year, which brings this interesting point I wanted to bring up. Terry Gilliam, who's done great, amazing movies like Brazil, the Adventures of Baron Munchausen, and also my other favorite, which I'm blanking out, which, believe it or not, that one. And don't forget that one too. Yeah, that's also a great one, because my brain is working so well right now. Well, he was planning to direct a movie based on the Man of La Mancha story, Don Quixote. So, for the longest time, he's had problems with either production, in which he had Johnny Depp as part of the cast. The actor who played Don Quixote gotten ill because of his age. There were disastrous production situation where they had severe flooding at one point and washed away all the equipment. Financing has fallen through. So for the longest time, it's been for the past 20 years that Terry Gilliam has been trying to put this onto the big screen. So lo and behold, this week Amazon comes in and says they're willing to work with him and to produce this. So we'll get this movie sometime, I believe late in 2016, and then shortly, first in the theaters, and then shortly thereafter into Amazon itself. I mean, one of the good things about this is that, considering what's coming out of Hollywood, and I'm not disparaging, minor or smaller films, but the big blockbuster movies, honestly, they haven't, like I've talked about, been very entertaining. So it's kind of interesting that these smaller companies like Amazon, which are not small, but non-traditional studio film companies, are now creating their own content and pulling in big names to do content for them. And there, by the way, is movies. So we're getting Terry Gilliam to do his movie finally. I think Brad Pitt is going to Netflix for another war movie. So they're getting some serious play out there, and I'm kind of happy for that, because I think the creativity aspect and the bureaucracy of some studios kind of get in the way and doesn't really tell an interesting story, or at least an entertaining story. And with a smaller company that doesn't have all these hang-ups, they trust the director to do what's perfect or what's great for that project. I mean, perfect example, Showtime, didn't want to, I think, fund enough movies or fund enough episodes for David Lynch, and he walked off, and then fans protested, and they got him back in and gave him extra episodes to film as for Twin Peaks. So this is great news for us as fans, because if we love movies and really good, well done movies from great directors and actors, this is hopefully going to be a resurgence in the craft of making movies, because honestly, the way things are going, it's not even movies made for us anymore because of the whole international market. The movie is going to be making its money primarily overseas. We're kind of like an afterthought at this point. So whatever the case is, I don't want to say they're dumbing down or they're just kind of putting A, B, and C together and then put in a blender, see what comes up, and then spill that out, and then there's your result without much thought. I'm hoping that's not the case, but honestly, I don't see overseas being a tough market, since they love anything that we do out there. It's just kind of like I'm kind of getting over that feeling. So, all right, some bad and sad news, unfortunately. Christopher Lee, of many who know him as the Count Dooku, which I know from way back when, playing various roles. But Count Dooku, he was Scaramanga from James Bond, the man with a golden gun. Saruman from The Lord of the Rings. So definitely it's a big loss, but considering how long of a career he has had, I'm really happy that he was around for as long as he did. I mean, the fact that we had a good villain in Count Dooku in the prequels was enough that I'm like, it's nice to see a character actor like that get to be part of this great universe. Kind of like, you know, how you had Alec Guinness. Oh my God, I am really tired. So you had Alec Guinness, you know, who had, you know, a great movie career, and he lends his talents to do Star Wars. So, you know, it's one of those kind of things that it has kind of like this benefit that the series needs. So, you know, at least for right now, I'm watching at least the essence of Count Dooku on the Clone Wars. So he's still alive out there. So we'll leave it at that. And lastly, there was a thing that was in the news about a librarian, I think some library in New Jersey found like a fourth draft of the Star Wars movie, and it talked about how it lays the controversy to rest about Han shooting first. Honestly, since I saw Star Wars back in the theaters way back in 1977, he did shoot first. There was no disputing that, oh, he shot. No, he was in self-defense. No, he ducked. No, it had always been that way. So it's not like a big revelation, like, oh, it was always meant to be this way. Yeah, it was, because I saw it the way it was. The unaltered edition of Star Wars. I saw that originally. So I know this. So apparently that's big news. Why? Because there's a lot of Star Wars fans, new Star Wars fans, that don't even know their history. But I do. That's a secret on that. And I was going to end the podcast, but I just finished watching Supergirl. Just wanted to add a little tidbit on that. And this is the TV pilot that actually was released, supposedly, to the internet. And for all intents and purposes, nothing, I believe, gets leaked by accident, or, you know, sometimes, yes, it gets the case of being stolen. That happens. But in this case, a full episode like this, I think it was done intentional, just to cause enough vibe and interest to have people kind of spread, you know, interest to promote this series. And for the most part, I'm entertained. It's a decent enough series. It pulls in a couple of issues that I've always wanted to consider, especially now when we were talking about a male-dominated superhero movie. in a whole universe. Diversity, we see a lot more of people of color. Roles being changed as far as power dynamics. We're not getting a male boss who heads the company that Supergirl works for. So a lot of it has been changed. And the other thing that I take into consideration when watching this is that this is not the Supergirl that I saw in the movies. This is not the Supergirl that I read in the comics. And that's fine. I think as long as you go in with this mentality that it's another Earth mentality, then what they're doing is fine. And they don't have to be really kind of tied in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where everything is tied in together. I think that the benefit is that you have this kind of freedom of not being tied into that universe, meaning that whenever we get the Flash on the big screen, it's going to be a different Flash than we have on TV right now. And who knows what's going to happen in season 2, because Jay Garrick may be appearing. We may get maybe Kid Flash. Who knows what's going to happen? But the fact is that we can always attribute to that series or the multiple versions of Flash to having alternate universes, alternate Earths. So with that, I can live with what they're doing. So, all right, well, I'm sorry for the short podcast, and I'm sorry for the delay in the podcast. But again, it's been a very busy summer this past week for me, just because of everything that's going on, and may not be able to do another one because it's my son's birthday and it's Father's Day, and then my daughter's leaving to go to Seattle for a week, and we'll see. Lots going on, and I still need to do some writing, and I'm hoping to do that sometime during the summer and just have some creative outlets to be done. I am doing origami, and I did post a couple of pictures of some origami Minecraft creepers. So if you see them and you like them, let me know. I'll make you one. You never know. I can send you lots of them, because I got nothing else to do today. Alright, so that ends my podcast. If you need to email me, which no one ever does, you can email me at themonstersci-fi-show@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter with the Monster Sci-Fi Show with the monsters with the Sci-Fi Scifi handle, or you can find me on Facebook. You can find the Monster Sci-Fi Show podcast. Oh my God! You can find the Monster Sci-Fi Show Facebook page there as well on Facebook. So, yes, I am still backlogged on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other podcasts. It is still being worked on. Trust me, I know I want to do this too. But if you want to catch up, start watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 on Netflix, which was just released this week. So catch up on that, and hopefully when my podcast comes on, you'll be done. Well, until next time, guys, remember, the Monster Sci-Fi Show, sci-fi from a certain point of view. Good night.